So you've got a big competition coming up soon, and you're thinking, how can I maximize my performance and get that new PB I've been training so hard for numerous months? And believe it or not, the answer isn't just to train yourself into the ground and hope for the best. No, that's not the best way of doing it. You're better than that, and you are smarter than that. You may have spent 6 months following a really strict training program, but the time has come to eat every last ounce of that training and put it into a final competition. And the way you're going to do that is by tapering. Now, this term tapering is very important, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's no 100% right way of doing it. It really depends on where you're at in your training and how hard it's been, and also your recovery systems as well. Here is the fundamental principle behind tapering and what you're really doing to actually maximize your performance. So normally in that last week of training ahead of your big competition, you need to start changing the way you train. You've probably been progressing slowly over the months, adding volume and adding intensity and seeing your numbers, whether that be in the gym, increase, or your times on the track come down. And in that last week, what we essentially want to do is decrease that volume and allow your body time to recover. You pushed it to the max, and now you need to let your body recover in time for the competition. So I'm just out for an easy, well, not an easy, but an interval session in my taper. It's very periodic. It's structured in a way where I'm getting the intensity, the volume's coming down, and I'm not pushing myself as hard. So RPE is going to be a big factor today. However, if we just cut everything out and just rested for that week, what you're going to find is you actually might end up detraining yourself and getting worse. Yes, your body will have recovered, but it will also may have forgotten some of the movement patterns and actually be shocked when suddenly you're pushing it to the absolute limits a week later. So what you need to make sure is that your volume is coming down in that week. However, you're having bursts of intensity where you're keeping that intensity that you had throughout your training program and reassuring your body that it is still capable of running those paces or lifting those weights. Are there any tips and tricks that you do in your taper sessions? Anything that you like to consider or involve in a structured taper week? Let me know. So normally what I'd recommend is cutting your volume in half during that taper. And that will be done slowly so that as you get closer to the actual day, that volume comes down and down and down until maybe you're having that full day before to rest and recover. When you do your intensity sessions though, whether that be an interval session where you do start pushing the paces higher, you need to do them in short bursts rather than really long prolonged periods. Make sure you're warming up before every session properly, because the last thing you want to do is get injured when you are doing those short bursts. So make sure there's a real emphasis on stretching, warming up and cooling down properly. When in the gym, again, you want to be lowering that volume and also lowering the weights you're using. However, even though you're lowering the weights, when you do have those sessions, you want to make sure that you're moving those weights efficiently, and hopefully they should feel really light. Now, I couldn't give you an exact percentage because it depends on what weight you're working with. But in general, you would be looking around 60 to 70% of your max and doing it for, say, a set of 3 to 5. So keeping the reps pretty low and also keeping the weight well within your reach to make sure you're not risking injury, but also allowing your body to still feel that stimulus and make sure it's prepped for competition. The final result of that taper will be your body should feel nice and recovered for competition, and also ready to fully perform and hit those fast speeds that you've been working towards and those heavy weights as well. Not decreasing the volume enough, you may feel a slight benefit of a taper, but not the full effects. So it's important that you allow yourself enough time to recover and reduce that volume adequately. It's going to be tough because you're so used to hitting that volume and you've been progressing and progressing and progressing. You may feel like you're detraining just by doing half the volume. I guarantee you, you're not. It's only for a week. A week is a very short time in the grand scheme of training. Your muscles do have a memory and they will pick it up. But again, it's just making sure that is a slight stimulus. Hopefully you've got some key takeaways. And if you have a competition coming up, let me know and let me know what your plan is going to be to taper down and prepare for it. I wish you all the best of luck. Please like and subscribe to the video if you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.